everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Namita. I'm an assistant marketing manager at a top FMCG firm and also a graduate trainee. And today I wanted to share with all you marketing undergraduates out there some tips and tricks for how to survive and get the most out of your life in university while you're still there. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. I'm just starting out my channel, as you can see from the number of videos I have below. And it will really help me make more content for you. So without further ado, let's get into today's discussion. The reason why I wanted to come up with this video is because I was a marketing undergraduate myself not too long ago. And to be honest, I wasn't so sure how to make the most out of my life in university. It was expensive, it was time consuming, and it was stressful. And I just wanted to make sure that at the end of the day, it was worthwhile. Thankfully, I managed to land a really good graduate trainee program at the end of my university, and so it was worthwhile to me. But for all of you who are still out there, still trying to find your way, I hope this video helps you and gives you some meaning and some direction for the rest of your years in university. And if you have any questions along the way in the video, please leave them down in the comments section below and I'll definitely get to them. Here are the top 5 tips I have for marketing undergraduates wherever you may be in the world. Tip number 1. Ask your professor things. Now I know it sounds a little bit embarrassing and it's kind of inconvenient. Why would you go to your professor when you already have so much content to study and memorize? But trust me, your professors can offer more value to you than you realize. I used to be one of those students that some might call irritating because at the end of every class, or not every class, at the end of some classes, I would go to the professor and I'd ask him or her questions that I had from the lecture. The reason why I recommend that you ask professors things is because they have a lot of knowledge that you may not even know and that they may not even share during the lecture. Our time in school is limited. Professors usually have curriculums that they need to finish within their set hours, and so a lot of the information that they might be able to share with you gets left behind. If you go and ask them more and go deeper into each of the topics that you study, you can be assured that you will walk away with more knowledge than your friends that didn't take that opportunity with them. And the kind of questions you can ask can range from questions that you might have had from the lecture that you didn't manage to answer, to questions that you might have about your career choice in the future. Professors can offer so much help, and part of the school fees that you're paying actually goes to having this kind of resources available for you. So please be sure to utilize them. Once you're out in the working world, life can be less forgiving than when you're in university, and people may not be as friendly and as happy to help you as professors might be. Professors are more often than not really happy to help you because it shows that you're engaged in the class. And so my first tip, once again, is to ask your professor questions. Tip number 2, focus on examples, not the theory. So as a marketing undergraduate myself a few years ago, I know that we have tons of theories available, tons of 6Ps, 5Ps, 7Ps, 4Ps, many things that we need to remember in order to do well in our exams. And I'm not saying that studying that is not important. You definitely have to know your theories well because it forms a foundation and backbone for all of marketing in the future. But what I'm saying is, on top of knowing your theories, what sets you apart in school as well as in the working world is having a good set of examples in your pocket. I don't mean remembering 1,000 different examples. What I mean is maybe have 5 to 7 case studies that you understand really well. Case studies from different aspects of marketing that have taught you different lessons that you can use not only in your exams, but when you go into the working world as examples. This is going to leave you more equipped, more prepared with not just book knowledge, but real life knowledge that you can leverage to become more ready to enter the working world. Tip number 3, project work is so important. Trust me. I know sometimes it can be a pain in the you-know-where. I know that you may get group members that might be difficult to work with, people that might just seem like they're out there to give you a hard time in your life, to make your university life more miserable than you think it might already be. But mastering the art of getting along with different kinds of people is, at least in the line of FMCG, and I'm pretty sure most other marketing aspects, that is one of the most foundational skills that you would need to succeed in your working world. I would say my job scope involves at least 50 to 60% stakeholder management. There will be people from all walks of life that you will eventually have to work with once you enter the working world. And so project work is a good foundation for you to really try out different things while in the comfortable space of being in school and learn to get along with other people. It may not always be the easiest, but trust me, if you can master that skill while in university, you are much better off than many other fresh graduates that are entering the working world. Tip number 4. Yes, work experience matters. I know you'd probably wish that I would say, no, internships don't matter. It's fine, like it's okay. But the truth is that internships do matter, or work experience. I would recommend in your time in university to actively go and source out for different types of internships. You don't necessarily have to have the big brand names in your resume, but rather focus your search on areas of marketing or areas of work that you're interested in. Look at the job descriptions of the internships out there. Look at the kind of skill sets that are required or the kind of skill sets that you would end up picking up during your internship. When you eventually want to land a full-time job, what matters a lot to the recruiters out there is what you're able to offer to them and how willing you are to learn. And so if you have these internships in your pocket, that would actually be super helpful in having some experience of what areas you've already delved in, where you see your strengths are with tangible examples, and which areas you'd like to focus on. And that can not only help you land the job, but can also help you streamline your search when you're finally looking for a full-time job. And so work experience does matter, along with everything else: project work, studies, theories, examples. The final tip I have for you is that when you enter the working world, get ready to unlearn and relearn all the things that you might have learned in university. When I entered my first job, I got a little bit of a shock because I had studied a particular theory in university that was similar but different in my actual job. And so I realized that almost all organizations, especially big firms, if you end up working for an MNC, they have their own terminologies, their own jargon, their own ways of working because they're so established and have had many years of experience and marketeers come into the organization. And so what you may learn in university is definitely going to be helpful in setting a foundation and in giving you some idea of the different aspects of the working world that you will eventually go into. But don't let that be a fixed mindset within you. Go into the working world with that experience from university as a strong base, but be ready to learn new things along the way. This sounds like a really underrated tip, but it's really true. Sometimes people out there, when they go into the working world, they're like, no, but in university, I learned it this way. Or like, no, my professor actually said it this way, so I don't agree with you. That's not the right attitude to have. Instead, you should be like, I understand. This was actually different from what I learned, but I'm happy to hear your point of view and I'm happy to hear your experience, and maybe we can see ways in which we can merge two of it together. This is the attitude that you would need to have a successful career in the future. And as an undergraduate still studying in university, there's no better time than now to start developing these skills and attitudes. I hope this video has been helpful for you. I really enjoyed filming it and sharing my experience. If you have any questions from what I said, or if you have any questions in general about being an undergraduate in marketing, how to land your first job, what it's like to work in FMCG, please feel free to leave it down in the comment section below or find me on any of my other social media channels. I'm always happy to chat and have a virtual coffee session with you. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would really make a difference to me. Thanks guys, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!